Hey, this is AJ. Welcome back to the Handyman process. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a very exciting topic, paying estimated taxes. Stand by. So, estimated taxes. Let's talk a little bit about why you have to pay them, and then we'll get into the how, or I should say one way of paying them, because there's multiple different ways to pay estimated taxes. But why do you have to pay estimated taxes? If you've ever been a W-2 employee, most people have, you're paying taxes throughout the year, right? It's coming out of your paycheck. You're paying a portion, your employer's paying a portion, and it's different kinds of taxes. You have federal income tax. You have, if you're in a state that has state, you have state income tax, and then you have the FICA taxes, the Social Security and Medicare. If you're self-employed, that's known as self-employment tax. And there's a little bit of nuance with that. Your federal rates and your state rates are kind of, well, I guess they're all fixed, but when you're self-employed, you pay the full self-employment tax, which is like 15% right now, going to both Social Security and to Medicare. But the bottom line, the government wants its money, and it wants its money on time. So when you go and you're a W-2 employee, you fill out all the paperwork, the W-4 paperwork and some other stuff, then automatically you're setting aside a certain amount of money every month, and you're sending that to the IRS. And at the end of the year, when taxes are due, you find out, did you pay enough or did you not pay enough? And that results in a refund or payment to the IRS. But when you're self-employed, and in this particular video, I'm only talking to people that are sole proprietors or single member LLCs, which are treated as sole proprietors kind of for tax purposes. And one little note here, I'm not an accountant. Never been an accountant. I've just studied this stuff a lot. So just take my advice for what it is, and do your own research and due diligence on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through kind of what I do and how I do it. Before I get into the mechanics, one of the biggest questions is, well, how do I know how much tax I have to pay, right? There's general rules. If you go out there and you do some research, that it's anywhere between 20% or 30% of your profits or your net pay. Or net pay is not a proper term, but how much money you made after expenses and everything are moved out. So I use a system. If you've seen my banking video with Novo, you'll see that I just set aside a certain amount of money. I think it's 25% right now. And then at the end of I do it every month. You only have to pay estimated taxes quarterly, and you can Google that and find the search, or if I can, I'll put some notes in here of when you have to do that. But I met with an accountant when I first started off, and he said, hey, just it's easier just to pay it monthly. I don't know if it's easier, but it's a rhythm that I like. So I pay my estimated taxes generally every month. I look at what's in my account that I set aside based off of all the money that I made, and then I just go to the IRS website and I pay it. Again, there's multiple different ways that you can pay it. There's different systems. Somebody else can do it for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the easiest way that I do it, and it works for me, and it's my process. So if you want to use this process, go ahead. If you want to do something different, go ahead. It's kind of up to you. But I do all this myself. I don't pay anybody to do this. I just do it myself. So the first thing I do, and I'm going to put my glasses on as I log into here. So I'm going to be putting up some screenshots here. The first thing I do is I go to IRS.gov, and you're going to be seeing screenshots from my cell phone. The desktop version may look a little bit different. But the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to the IRS's website, and there'll be a button for make a payment. So when I click on that button for make a payment, it's going to bring me to another screen with some different options to pay. Since I do this monthly, I go into the sign-in option, and my stuff's already set up, and that's what I would recommend. I would recommend you sign up and get an account. But let's say, just for tutorial purposes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the button that says Pay Now with Direct Pay. So I click on that button, and it's going to bring me to another screen. I'm going to select the Make a Payment button, and now it's here where you start to enter your information. So keep in mind, you need to know what money you think you're estimating for your taxes for this particular reporting period, whether it's a month or whether it's a quarter. So let's say it's $100. You're going to go in, you're going to select a reason for a payment, you're going to hit the drop down, and you'll have an option for estimated tax. You select the estimated tax button. The rest of the field should populate because it knows kind of what you're applying that money towards. So you're going to apply it towards your 1040 tax paperwork, so you can leave that one there. And for the tax period of 2023, assuming that you're watching this in 2023, if you're in the future year, just select that future year. So go ahead and hit the continue button, and then the next series of pages is kind of personal information. So you're going to go through, you're going to put your personal information. People ask sometimes, well, do I use my EIN number, the number that the IRS gave me for my business? And the answer is no, because again, if you're a single member LLC or sole proprietor, you pay taxes personally, which means you're paying them against your Social Security account or your ITIN number if you have one. Most people just use a Social Security number. So put your Social Security number in there, because this is going to get, again, reported to your 1040 personal tax return, because a single member or a sole proprietor. So go ahead and fill in all that paperwork. You'll go through all the screens. You'll enter your bank information, your routing number, and your account number, and then you'll submit a payment, and then that's it. If you've established an account and you sign in, you're going to have a history of those payments. So at the end of the year, what I do is I go back into the IRS website. I keep separate records too, but I just go in there, verify all the payments that I made. Let's say I made $10,000 worth of tax payments. I need that bit of information at the end of the year. When I file my taxes, how much taxes did you paid? So since I'm a W-2 guy in the day and a self-employment guy by night and weekends, I just look at what I paid for my W-2 withholdings, and then I look at what I paid here, and then I combine the two, and that's how much tax I paid for the year. So then I do the math, figure out if I owe anything or if I get a refund. For me, it's always a moving target. And it will be for you if you have different sources of income kind of coming in, because you never know where you're going to land. And as you bump up into higher income brackets, you pay more tax. So me personally right now, I'm at about 30% taxes, because I'm paying 22%. Actually, more than 30%. I'm paying 22% federal income tax at that marginal rate, which means every dollar that I make above a certain rate, I'm paying 22% on. And then I'm paying around 15% for the self-employment tax, Social Security, and Medicare. I get some of that back, because of tax deductions and stuff that you get as a self-employed guy. But roughly, that's kind of what I'm paying. Anyway, I didn't know this when I first started out. I had to do a lot of research. I didn't, one thing I didn't know, and I'll make a note of this, is when you pay that estimated taxes, I was like, well, do I have to pay the federal tax separately from the self-employment tax? I didn't find a whole lot of information, and I dug through all the IRS publications, and I found out they're one and the same. The IRS doesn't care. At the end of the year, when you do your tax filing stuff, it kind of does this math for you. So I just put all my money in there, and then I find out if I was short or if I overpaid. But the bottom line is you don't have to submit estimated taxes separately for self-employment and for federal taxes. It's all kind of lumped into one thing. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I didn't know it when I first started out. Now I do. It's a repeatable process for me, and that's what I do. If you're like, man, I don't want to mess with this, go ahead and get an accountant or a bookkeeper, have them do this for you. They do this kind of stuff all the time. I just prefer to do it myself. So anyway, hopefully it's helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. If you like this content, it's helpful for you. If you want to give me a thumbs up, I appreciate it, and subscribe or share the videos. It's helping me grow the channel. I'm a little overwhelmed right now by how my channel grew. I started with 0 subscribers back in April, and I have 432 as of this morning, which is really cool. I've been a consumer of YouTube for quite a while, and now I'm giving back, and it's cool and exciting. So I'll continue making these videos, and I appreciate everybody watching them and your support. So thank you very much, and have a great day.